Imagine spending more on jet fuel for a single transatlantic flight than most people make in a year. Welcome to the world of the Bombardier Global 8000, where the operating costs alone can buy you a Ferrari every month. And that's before we even talk about the $90 million price tag. This isn't just expensive transportation. This is financial insanity disguised as aviation excellence. But for the ultra-wealthy who can afford it, this flying mansion delivers capabilities that sound like science fiction. Today, we're breaking down the real cost of owning aviation's most luxurious time machine. And trust me, the sticker price is just the beginning of this financial nightmare. Cabin. When you step inside the Global 8000, the first thing that hits you isn't just the luxury. It's the sheer size. We're talking about a cabin that's 54 feet and 4 inches long, 8 feet and 2 inches wide, and 6 feet and 3 inches tall. To put that in perspective, that's longer than most New York City apartments and wider than some hotel rooms. You could literally do cartwheels in this thing if you wanted to. The Global 8000 can be configured with up to 4 distinct living spaces. Think of it as having multiple rooms in the sky. The typical layout includes a forward lounge area, a conference and dining zone, a private stateroom, and a crew rest area. The forward lounge features club seating for 4, with seats that swivel 360 degrees and slide on tracks for maximum flexibility. These aren't airline seats. They're more like premium recliners you'd find in a high-end home theater, except they're designed to handle turbulence at 50,000 feet. But here's where things get interesting. The private stateroom. This isn't just a place to take a nap. We're talking about a legitimate bedroom with a queen-size bed, premium linens, and enough storage for extended trips. The bed is a proper mattress, not some fold-out contraption. You can get a full night's sleep while crossing multiple time zones, arriving refreshed instead of exhausted. The bathroom is equally impressive. You've got a full-size shower with a solid door, not a curtain. The water pressure is actually decent, thanks to a sophisticated pressurization system. There's a proper mirror with Hollywood-style lighting, heated floors, and enough counter space for all your toiletries. It's the kind of bathroom you'd expect in a 5-star hotel, not something 39,000 feet in the air. Climate control throughout the cabin operates independently in each zone. The system maintains sea-level cabin pressure up to 41,000 feet, which means less fatigue and better sleep quality during long flights. Stick around until the end to see the hidden costs that can add hundreds of thousands to your annual operating budget. Costs that most people never consider when they're dreaming about private jet ownership. Cockpit. The cockpit of the Global 8000 is essentially a spacecraft control center. Bombardier equipped this aircraft with the Rockwell Collins Proline Fusion flight deck, which is about as advanced as civilian aviation gets. We're talking about 4 high-resolution displays that show everything from weather radar to terrain mapping to engine parameters. But here's what makes the Global 8000 special from a pilot's perspective: the Enhanced Flight Vision System. This uses infrared cameras to see through fog, smoke, and darkness, projecting a clear image directly onto the pilot's display. It's like having night vision goggles built into the aircraft, and it's standard equipment. The enhanced vision system combined with the synthetic vision system creates what's called combined vision, giving pilots an almost supernatural ability to see and navigate in challenging conditions. This isn't just cool technology. It's the kind of capability that can mean the difference between landing at your destination or having to divert to an alternate airport. Engine and performance. Under the wings of the Global 8000, you'll find 2 Rolls-Royce Pearl 15 engines. Each engine produces 15,125 pounds of thrust, using the latest ceramic matrix composite components that can withstand higher temperatures while weighing less than traditional materials. The performance numbers are genuinely impressive. The Global 8000 has a maximum cruise speed of Mach 0.94, which translates to about 610 miles per hour at altitude. But it's the range that really matters. This aircraft can fly 7,700 nautical miles without stopping for fuel. What does that range mean in practical terms? You can fly from New York to Dubai, London to Singapore, or Los Angeles to Sydney without any fuel stops. That's game-changing for business travelers who value time above all else. No more connections, no more delays, no more dealing with multiple airports and customs checkpoints. The service ceiling is 51,000 feet, which puts you well above most commercial traffic and weather. The Global 8000 is designed for short runway performance despite its size. It can take off from runways as short as 6,000 feet when lightly loaded, opening up access to smaller airports that larger commercial aircraft can't handle. The fuel capacity is massive, 11,890 gallons. That's enough fuel to fill up about 300 typical cars, and at current jet fuel prices, filling up the tanks costs around $30,000 to $40,000, depending on location. Price. Now, for the numbers everyone wants to know, but few want to discuss. The list price for a new Bombardier Global 8000 starts at approximately $78 million. But once you factor in typical options and customizations, most aircraft are delivered between $85 and $95 million. The real eye-opener comes with operating costs. Annual fixed costs, hangar fees, insurance, crew salaries, and maintenance reserves typically run between $2.5 and $3.5 million per year. That's before you even start the engines. Variable costs run roughly $7,000 to $8,500 per flight hour. If you're flying 200 hours per year, you're looking at around $1.4 to $1.7 million annually, just in variable costs. Let's put this in perspective. A New York to London flight takes about 7 hours in the Global 8000. Your direct costs for that one-way flight would be approximately $52,000 to $59,500. Round trip, you're looking at over $100,000 just in operating costs. Insurance alone typically runs between $300,000 and $500,000 annually. Crew training costs about $50,000 to $75,000 per pilot annually. With 2 full-time pilots, that's potentially $150,000 just in recurrent training costs. Hangar costs vary dramatically by location, but expect anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 per month. In major metropolitan areas, premium hangar space costs significantly more. For chartering, a Global 8000 typically runs between $22,000 and $28,000 per flight hour. That 7-hour New York to London flight would cost between $154,000 and $196,000 one way via charter. The depreciation is significant. A typical Global 8000 might lose 15 to 20% of its value in the first year, then continue depreciating at 8 to 12% annually. On an $85 million aircraft, that first-year depreciation hit could be $12 to $17 million. The reality is that owning a Global 8000 requires the financial capacity to handle $3 to $5 million in annual operating costs without breaking a sweat. Most financial advisors suggest that the aircraft purchase price should represent no more than 5 to 10% of your total net worth, which means you're looking at net worth requirements in the hundreds of millions to truly afford comfortable ownership.